Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Shows page. Tonight, I want to share with you guys what's going on with the market. As some of you may know, I actually live here in New York City. I'm also invested in Georgia and Alabama. Now, it was said that we were actually supposed to be opening up this week, but New York really is not opened up as of much. Me personally, in addition to being an investor, I do work for an international law firm that specializes in closings for commercial real estate. But as an investor, I don't invest in commercial real estate as of yet. I invest in residential real estate. So let me just tell you what's going on in my neck of the woods, share with you what's been happening. So I have been working from home actually before the quarantine and the shutdown, and it looks like I am going to be working from home even after the quarantine and the shutdown, because on our job, what they have mentioned to us is that there's a new mandate that not more than 25, that a building cannot have more than, 25 people, or 25% of the building can only be occupied at one time here in New York. In addition, we are not allowed to go into our buildings unless we have a mask and also a note from our managers. This is the new mandate that has been made. The building in which my company actually works in, they are actually not, hi Lavette, they are not actually going to let us in right away. They say they're going to revamp the air filtration system, and they're going to be installing some air quality sensors. So even when all is said and done, they're really not in any rush to have us go back in and work physically in the building. Just mind you, my company does not own the building that we work in. My company occupies, they rent in the building. They have expressed to us that we are actually doing a wonderful job working from home. But let me give you a little tidbit. What they didn't mention that I do know. With all of us working from home, they're saving money on electricity. They're saving money on gas. They're saving money on water. They're saving money on equipment that typically may break down from us using it. They're probably also, cutting back. There's probably not as many, let's say, other issues that may arise from all of us being in the building. Also, I'm a night worker, so they're saving money as far as sending a car to my home and then having that car take me to work. So transportation costs have been cut, okay? So it actually is, they're seeing the benefit of that. Even though they may not mention it, they are. The other issue, or the other thing that's not mentioned that I am fully aware of, is that many buildings, even prior to COVID-19, many of the workers were actually suing the building owners because they were actually allergic to, let's say, radon or asbestos or any other poisonous unseen gases that were in that particular building. And now that we have COVID-19, if somebody goes back to work and let's say they catch it, the building owners may be held responsible. We live in a very litigious society. So I think that many companies now are quite comfortable with us working from home. I've been told by the CEO of my firm Also by my friend who works, he does grants. He does not work in my company. And then I know another lady that she works for the government. And they were saying that for them, it's now permanent. There is no work as usual where you get up, you get on the train for most of us, or you take the bus here in New York. Many of us don't drive because when you try to drive, you don't find any parking. But they're quite comfortable, and many of them have been told that they are permanently now going to work from home. Their job is an at-home job. So that is what we are experiencing here in New York City. Excuse me if I look over to the side because I did take some notes so that I wouldn't miss anything. Now, as far as the legal environment is concerned, now I just want to foremention, I am not a lawyer. I work in a law firm, but I'm not a lawyer. Here's what's going on. So you have a lot of attorneys who were part of the baby boomer generation. Many of them were looking to retire. Many of them actually still can retire. But the millennials, there's not really that much of them. And with COVID-19, they've pushed back when these millennials that are supposed to be graduating this year or who have already graduated this year, when it's time for them to actually take the bar exam. So you're not really fully a lawyer until you take that exam and you actually pass it. So trying to do transactions right now is going to be very slow because we don't have enough people at this particular point in time to carry out those transactions. As a matter of fact, there were a number of people in my firm and also in my friend's firm where they offered people early retirement. So instead of actually retiring at 65, they actually retired at 55, or some people even retired at 50. I know this was also, besides the law firms, this was also being offered to Verizon employees as well. So when it comes to, if you're thinking about buying property and you want to go through a closings are going to take a lot longer. Excuse the nails. I've had these on for about 2 months. So please forgive me. I have not been to a nail salon as of yet. Anyway, moving forward. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to say is I've heard and I've seen where people have said that it's now a buyer's market where they're from. In New York, it's still a little bit too hard to really pinpoint and say whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. Here's the thing. You have people who lost their jobs who still own homes. Yes, there's a moratorium on mortgages, but that is only going to last until like August 20th. What if the person can't find another job to pay their mortgage by that time? And you have to realize they have to catch up and pay a whole bunch of mortgages that monthly payments that they've already missed. So you have people right now who are actually desperate to sell their homes. And then on the flip side, you have a lot of people who are desperate to buy homes. Why? See, where I work, I'm in a call center in the IT department, to be more specific. And a lot of people have already complained to me, Lily, I live in a studio apartment. I don't have office space. So there are people who have expressed to me already that they are looking for a larger place to live. They're looking for an extra bedroom, if you will, if they are looking for an apartment. Then you have those who are in houses or are looking for a bigger house. Some people who already have houses, their workaround is to buy one of those sheds and put them in the backyard and then change that shed into an office for the time being. That's what some people are doing. But yes, you do have people that are currently closing and buying property right now, right here in New York City during COVID-19. You might say, well, how are they able to do this? Well, we have a lot of realtors. They're using special technology, Skype, FaceTime, to do virtual tours of property. The governor actually has allowed us to sign remotely. We use DocuSign and Adobe Sign to sign paperwork, so you don't have to physically be anywhere in order to get your paperwork done. The people who are actually deemed as essential workers are moving people, are the appraisers and the inspectors. Now, you do have some appraisers and inspectors who work virtually and who will look at a home again through technology. But then you also have, they are able, if they wish to, physically go into the home. But when they physically go into a home, the residents of that home, they have to leave. They have to give the keys or leave the keys with that inspector, because the inspector can only be in the house by him or herself. They can't have anybody else with them when they're doing the inspection. So that is something that that is something quite different that we never used to have to do before. Normally you could be in the same room with them. Prices really haven't changed that much, to be quite honest with you. We'll see how things are gonna be later. As far as the courts are concerned, most of the courts are closed. Housing court will only open up for emergency, but as far as doing like evictions or foreclosures here, not anytime soon. Again, that'll probably be back in August when that is going to be done. Oh yes, two other things as far besides people looking for extra room for office space. The other calls that I get is you do have in New York, you do have people from New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania who were commuting to do their job. They're not doing that anymore. However, where they live, the Wi-Fi reception is horrible. And that makes it very difficult for them to work. So you do have a number of people who have expressed to me that they are looking for another place to live. Then you also have some people who were living by themselves who went to stay with their mother or their parents or family so that they wouldn't be in the house by themselves. Some of them are realizing that their family is driving them crazy, to be quite honest with you. So they've decided that, you know what, since I can work from home, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to live closer to my family, even if it's out of state. Because there's one lady on my job, she went all the way to Oregon with her family. There's no reason. She can still work here at the firm. She just does not have to physically be here anymore. You understand? So she's looking. I know that for a fact. And of course, even though people joke about it, there are people who are in relationships, marriages, who are divorcing. The police will tell you right here in New York, I don't know about any other city, but right here in New York, the cases of abuse, domestic violence has increased. So yes, a lot of people are looking to leave for that reason also. So as far as the real estate market is concerned, it's still hard to predict, but I do feel, I do know for a fact that movement is already taken on right now. And I do believe that once this thing subsides a little bit, there's going to be a lot more movement. Will people stay in New York City? Maybe, maybe not. Now that they're, if they are able to work from home on a permanent basis, they might not. They might say, okay, I want to move to another city with good Wi-Fi, because that's going to be a prerequisite before making any sort of transitions. Okay. Now, As many of you know, I am a landlord. I'm also a note holder. And what I see is, I think it's great that they have the moratorium on the rent and on the mortgages. I think it's bad that they're not trying to do anything about the taxes. Taxes here in New York City went up to $8,000. If you go to Orange County, many of them, I believe they're paying like 10, and I know certain parts of Long Island and New Jersey is paying 20,000, but nobody seems to be addressing the issue. So, if you are a New York City landlord, what you might want to consider is there is a group called New York City Landlords Unite. And you can go to change.org and fill out, they have sort of a breakdown of let's fight for our rights as far as the property tax is concerned. Because I did get a bill in April to pay my taxes. And it's like, well, you know what? It's not fair for you to say, okay, the tenants don't have to pay you rent, the homeowners don't have to pay you the mortgage, but you still got to pay the taxes, especially with it being that high. Georgia's not so bad because Georgia, you know, their taxes is like $500 something dollars. But when you paying above 5,000, you're getting bit. You're getting bit pretty hard. So anyway, say all that to say, just to give you guys an update of what's going on here in my neck of the woods. Oh, also, as far as Alabama is concerned, I was told that I can't do anything with my Alabama property until June 15th, because that's when all the courts and all the businesses are supposed to be open. But you know how things are going. They say it'll be open, and then later on, they just say they'll decide to extend it. Georgia, I know that some businesses are open, some are closed. One lady that I was speaking to, she works with insurance. And because most of her clients are elderly and they're not computer literate, she does have to physically go out there and assist them. That's what she relayed to me. So I can understand that. And I also understand that many of the realtors there are also working remotely, virtually. As far as Texas is concerned, the only thing that I know about Texas, even though they say they were opening, they really haven't opened up every single business. It's just some businesses are open, but I understand that the borders between the states, Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas, like those borders have been shut down. Correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you who are on my page who are from that particular state or who invest in that particular state. So anyway, I'm done telling you guys about myself, what's going on here in New York, Alabama, and Georgia. In the comments section, please tell me where you're from, if you have any properties there. If you don't have properties there, where are your properties located? Is your state open? Is it closed? If your state is still closed, let us know when your state will still be open or plans on being open. Let us know about the rent and mortgages and whether or not one can close in your state or not, or, you know, what is the process. If anything has changed down there, let us know. Because I understand that, you know, every state, every city is not the same. I understand that even though California is shut down, a lady there who's a notary told me that she still has to physically go into the person's house or into an office to have them sign documents, that she can't do it virtually the way we are able to do it virtually in New York. So that's all I have for you guys. I'm really interested in knowing what you guys are going through, and please share. Thank you. Goodbye and good night. Take care. And also be safe. All right. Most importantly. Bye, guys.